Right. So, in today's video, we are going to discuss about Kanban model development in reference to the agile environment. Because as in when we are working on the agile environment, as far as the project's implementation is concerned, will be used in two different ways. One is about some are Scrum developments. Using Scrum, we develop the applications. When it comes to the Scrum development, we have different epics, user stories, right? So we have backlog. All these things will be there in the Scrum. But whereas when it comes to the Kanban itself is concerned, it is a pull and push kind of, right? So whatever the tasks which we wants to be addressed and all everything will be taken subsequently, and the development will be done by us in regard to that. So hence we use a tool called Jira, which is in project tracking as well as project management tool widely used across industries in the field of agile. In this, it's not only about the Scrum project, even Kanban project can also be created. In this regard, whenever we are working on the Kanban model, there is a project which was already created by me, because as in when in the previous sessions, I discussed about how to create a project on Scrum Kanban, right? So at the same time, either it can be a team level project or group level projects and all everything we have discussed. So hence I have created a project here. You can see application I'm taking is an healthcare administrative application is what something which I have taken for healthcare organizations. So when we wants to update the tasks and all, here you can see there is an option called board. Whatever the issues you want to create and all everything, so issues can be created directly over here. In this regard, it's always important for us to identify what are the issues or the tasks which we have to be addressed in Kanban board. So here you can see on board, you can see here there is an option called create issue. So I'm taking an issue for denial management first, because for example, if you want to manage the denials and all everything in application, right? Normally, first thing what is that we do is to create an account, right? So creating an account is in one task which we have to be performed. At the same time, we can create an AP letters, whatever the AP letters in context to the creation of the denials and all everything I'm taking, because these are all the features in connect to the features and all. These are the functionalities which I'm taking over here. Next, for example, when we are working on the claims part, right? So claim management and all, we can create and processing the claims. This is what something which we can do it. At the same time, to manage all these and all, you require some dashboard. So that hence I am creating a dashboard as well. Dashboard creation is what something which I am creating. So dashboard creation is what something which I have created. So dashboard create, these are all comes under the claim part. Now, when it comes to the integration part, because when it comes to the integration of the application for multiple things and all, we should have a facility where we have to track the claims, right? So tracking of claims is what something which we have to be created. It's not about the tracking of claims. So we can even create tracking payments as well. Whatever the payment tracking and all everything can also be done, right? So we can, so we can track the payments. Right, so tracking the payments is what something we have taken. Yeah. So tracking payments is also one of the functionality we have taken over here, right? So the major difference you see from Scrum to Kanban is in Scrum, we need to create epics, we need to create user stories, we have to provide some story points for that user story. At the same time, we will be moving those into the sprints, right? That's how generally we do when we are working on the Scrum. Whereas in the Kanban, directly using a Kanban board, whatever the claims we wants to do, whatever the tracking of the progress, or else, for example, if you want to manage the claim scrubber, okay? For example, sending claims. Okay, sending claims is also one of the functionality wherein we need to know. But at the same time, once the claims we have sent, we need to know about the status of claims. Whatever the claims we have submitted, we want to know the status, right? So claim status. So this is how and what generally the Kanban board looks like. You can see over here, this is what generally the Kanban board we have created. And if there is any kind of configurations or if you want to configure the board over here, so we can simply we can manage all that, because totally we have 8 issues over here. If you want to change this into a different state wherein we can do it, right? So otherwise we can put it as to do in progress and done. To do means the status of items which we are about to perform. At the same time, in progress means if there, for example, if there are some items which were already started by us, okay, whatever the items were started over here, so that will be moving into the in progress state, right? So this is how generally the in progress state we can move on. So we can moving into the in progress state, whatever the required items you want to be performed and all, we can moving into the in process state from the existing state. Make sure we have to do that. Next, after that, we can move those into the done state. Once it is completed, this can be moved into the done. This is how generally the Kanban board usually works like. Means if you want to create any kind of Kanban application, or if you want to manage any kind of Kanban applications and all, this is how generally the tasks wherein we can write down directly into the Kanban board. And in Kanban development team will be taken care of the development. So whatever the development required and all, so based on the development, that will be moved automatically to the in progress. There will be an admin team where they want to manage any kind of administration or configurations and all everything. So here you can see there is an option called for project settings, and whatever the required settings you want to make as far as the issues itself is concerned, because these are all the issues we have taken. For example, these are the issues which are issues types, right? So issue types were taken. Now these issue types, this we have to create a rule here, right? So we need to write down the project rule. Based on the project rule, what we have written, because of course, rules of the project comes on the admin part that I will be explaining in the next session when I am explaining about Jira administration and all. In the training, I'll be explaining that to you, project rules and all that. So in that project rules, whatever the rules we have to define, here you can see in this projects, we can see there is an option called automation. Okay, right. So you can go to the automation over here, and whatever rules you wants to be updated, because this is not something we do manually, right? So this is an automation thing, we have to do it. So if you want to perform this automation, here you can see there is an option called create rule. So we need to click on create rule, and we need to make subsequent rules and all, everything can be created and we can update. So whenever we are updating, the advantage is that whatever the activities are we performing in the particular board will be done automatically, will be performed, because there is no manual process we do, everything is automated. This is how generally the Kanban board looks like, and this is how generally the Kanban board we perform. And if there is any kind of color combinations you want to give, right? So, or else if you want to give any highlighters or something of that sort, that we can do it. That is something optional. Okay, that is not something mandatory of all the types. So if you want to provide any kind of color combinations for the existing boards or something of that sort, we can do it later. That is anyway, that is optional here. At the same time, if you want to set any kind of limit for a particular column, what we have created, we can create the column limit, because delete as option is not required and we don't do it. And for this project, if you want to add people, here you can see add people over here, and you can add people into this, right? So for example, let's say, for example, whoever the people do we have, right? So for example, this is the one which I have taken, right? So if you want to add one person to the existing project, here you can see new person was added into the existing project. This is what and how usually these projects and all everything will be added, especially whenever we are working on the Kanban. Now in the next session, I'm going to discuss about what are the reports will be there in Kanban, right? So cycle time reports, etc. So report generation can also be done using cycle time reports and all that I'm going to discuss you in next session. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.